Song Beth by Kiss has been controversial since the moment it came out in 1976 on the album Destroyer. Right now, we're going to talk about some of those controversies. So before we get started, I just want to let you know, if you're interested to be one of the first people to find out when new topics are posted, you can hit the subscribe button below. If you hit the subscribe button, you'll be able to get here and experience the new videos right away. First bit of controversy, of course, was it's a ballad from the demon fire, blood-spitting, explosion-ridden, hell-raising band Kiss, and no one expected it. It was also surprising because it was sung by the drummer, Peter Criss. It was also written, at least co-written, by Peter Criss, and it became the breakout song for the band. This proved to be a huge turning point, not only in history, but in rock history altogether, and that's why it's important to give this song a little bit of discussion here. So the truth about Beth is that it's probably the most important Kiss song ever recorded. Another truth about Beth is it's probably one of the worst Kiss songs ever recorded. So the first thing to consider when looking at the historical legacy of Beth is it's a crappy song. It's a terrible song. It's sentimental. It's repetitive. The lyrics are extremely shallow. And the arrangement is saccharine and rather boring. So you may be a fan of the song. It may hold sentimental memories for you, or you may hate the song. Bottom line is, it's a terrible song. The other truth about Beth is it saved Kiss. Kiss was headed straight toward oblivion. Kiss Alive 1 was a successful album that brought them back from the dead, that stopped them from being dropped by their label. But Destroyer would have sent them right back to the drawing board had it not been for the breakout success of Beth. In 1976, the style of music that Kiss was playing, which was this anthem rock, smoke a joint, drink a beer, cold gin type thing, was fading out, and it was being replaced by disco and pop music and punk music and everything that Kiss wasn't. So if you look at other bands in the 1970s like ZZ Top or Judas Priest or Heart or The Who or even Pink Floyd, when 1980s rolled around, they all took a decidedly commercial turn. They made radio-friendly music. They, in some cases like ZZ Top, completely reinvented their sound and turned into an MTV band. Kiss, while they had the makeup and the visuals that were sort of aerodynamically designed to do well in the video age, their music wasn't set up to do the same. So they had to make a commercial turn, and had they not already broken into radio through Beth, they would have had a hard time getting anyone to try to look at them as a singles band or as a pop music band. So the success of Beth in 1976-77 paved the way for the radio DJs and the rest of the apparatus to be receptive to Kiss later. Another thing that's important to mention about Beth is that the reason it was successful was not because it was a good song, because it's not a good song. It was successful because it was a perfect spotlight for Peter Criss's vocals. Peter Criss has a naturally gifted singing voice that Kiss, up to that time, had recognized that he was a good vocalist, but they hadn't really given him a solo spot as a lead singer. And the times when he was singing lead, like on Black Diamond, the arrangement and tempo of the song was almost in competition with his voice. I'm not saying that it doesn't sound good, I'm just saying it doesn't let his voice shine out. Beth, everything is in the background to spotlight the singing. And so it was a perfect arrangement, a perfect song to spotlight Peter Criss's vocals. At the same time, its breakout success kind of ruined Peter Criss and destroyed his already tenuous relationship with the rest of the guys because his ego got so out of control. His mindset was, well, look, I'm the one that did the song that broke the band, so you guys should listen to what I have to say. I may have some other good ideas. I may have some other good songs. And the less that his ideas seemed good or workable, the more frustrated he got. And the more frustrated he got, the more demands he made. And the more demands he made, the more the band stuck their heels in the sand and said no. And finally, it ended up basically ruining the band. And I'm not sure that without Beth, that Peter Criss would have ever become quite such an obstructive force in the band. It wouldn't have been such a diva. Ironically, Beth also made Kiss a harder band. Even though it was a big commercial ballad that brought them a lot of success and mainstream popularity, they never did it again. Instead, when they gave Peter Criss another ballad to sing on Rock and Roll Over, it was Hard Luck Woman, which is a mid-tempo song. It doesn't have a string section. It has more of a country flavor. Kiss, from the point that they attained their commercial popularity with Beth, immediately turned their back on it and became a more and more hard rock focused band until you get to stuff like Almost Human on Love Gun and even Creatures of the Night. So I don't think Beth did anything to harm Kiss's hard rock identity, but ironically, it was the success of Beth that allowed them to continue despite their hard rock identity. In the final analysis, the truth about Beth is it's not really a Kiss song. Nobody from Kiss other than Peter Criss had anything to do with it. Two of the co-writers, Stan Penridge and Bob Ezrin, were not members of Kiss. And there is not a note played by Ace Frehley or Paul Stanley or Gene Simmons on the entire song. It is a Peter Criss solo effort that was marketed through the band Kiss, and it's an anomaly in their catalog. The thing is, it saved them from oblivion. They may have gone on to make a couple of more albums, but had they not had the commercial success that was afforded to them from Beth, their efforts in the 80s would have just been ignored by the music industry. So that's what I think. If you have thoughts on this or any other topic related to classic or contemporary music, please comment in the section below. And remember to like and subscribe. Thanks a lot.